Alrighty, so let's fix this data, or let's fix this class. So we wrote last time these getters and setters, and now the show status, we need to fix that one, right? So we did this one because this one worked fine, but when we challenged tried to get the address, we needed to go ahead and let's go ahead and first complete the getters and setters for the first name and the last name. Okay, so I'm just going to do last to make my life a little easier. Remember, it is camel case, right? Last, and then underscore last. I could have made my life a little easier and just did a very narrow find and replace. That'd be the other way I could have done this. Last, okay, so I'm returning this. And so I'm going to do last, and then I'm going to do new last name, okay? Oh, there we go. Okay, so now I also need to make sure I do new last name here. Okay, so that does a getter and setter for the first name and the last name. So the other one I'm going to need is for the address to fix this one. Okay, so I could again copy these over, right? So again, where we have get address, this just be ADDRESS. So then I'll copy that to make my life a little easier. Although, right, it's only going to be in here. Make sure I get those. Let me make sure new last name. Okay, I'm just checking the other ones as I was reading over them. So then I could just come up here, copy this, right? It's already got the underscore. Cool. So then get address, set address. So new address. Oh, I should have, my bad. See, that's where finding and replacing more precisely. Okay, that works. Return this address. So I just grab that one. Right. So this address would be equal to new address. Okay. So then that sets up my getters and setters, right? My get address, my get last name. So now that should have fixed this show status. Let's see if it did. Okay. Okay, show status, Jane lives in undefined. So let's troubleshoot that one and figure out why. Now, did we get the latest version? Let's make sure. Okay. Oh, okay. No, that should work. Super. Let's see if it actually came in. Address here. Okay. This underscore. First, last. Those look okay. This underscore. Okay, cool. Now we're on to the class now, so we're not actually. Oh, yes. So, right. On show status on this one, it wouldn't yet because all that I fixed, right, was the one on Jane. Let's see if the one on Jane actually works. Okay. There's Jane. Now show status on Jane. Get first name. Ah. Yeah. So what did I forget? I forgot to do it here to where I call this dot get address, right? And because I'm calling it as a method, I have to do that. So while we're here, let's just go ahead and fix the rest of the ones down here. Okay. You can run that, make sure, definitely check me on that one. Always a good thing to do. Uncaught. Oh, helps when you do address right. Okay, good. So we know the one on student doesn't, but we know the one on person does, so we're good. So we can move on to here. And in this case, there's really nothing we have to change on here because the getters and setters are on person. It is here and here, right? That we'd want to change that. So the first thing we'd want to do here is make this private, right? and then do a getter and setter. Again, I'm just gonna, copy this one. Does that make sense? So I don't have to type anything. Get class list. And so I return this dot underscore class list. Cool. And then I would say new. So if I wanted to set this, right? So I'd say new. And then in this case, you probably want to set a specific class, but okay, sorry. So now we'd say new class list, right? Having that we're all in this world, we were like, no, that wouldn't work. Okay. So in this case, we're going to say this class list, right, is equal to new class list. I already have new class list. Okay. So now what I need to do here is say, so no longer can I reference, because it's the idea of encapsulation, no longer can I reference on here, right? I have to say this dot what? Get, right? First name, it's a method, right? Lives on this dot get address, it's a method, right? Is taking, right? And it's this dot get. Let's see, let me see what it does with that array. This dot class list. Let's see, did I get that right? Get class list. Oh, didn't do it here. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to say set class list. We're passing in a new class list. We're saying that, which is here. And we've got, yep, good, good. Okay, so now let's see if everything got fixed. Good, looks good. I don't see any, okay. All right, so on the last one, I think I was showing get first name. I was showing the getter for Rio. So what you've now encountered is the idea of encapsulation, right? Encapsulation is a concept of building data-related variables and properties in one class. We did it in one class and a subclass, doesn't matter. It's restricting direct access to some of the data structures, which is what we've done here by doing these getters and setters. The thing I did, though, and I just want to be clear, is I just wrote methods. There are getters and setters in base JavaScript that work pretty much the same. Like I said, I was kind of looking, and you can do these outside of classes as well. Okay, but is to use these getters and setters in classes. So it is actually but it's different syntax, which I think is kind of counter in my mind, but whatever. You can also use these to do, and you can look at the idea of actually specifying private variables. But again, I want more than anything, because most of you are just getting introduced to some of these concepts now, to have an idea when somebody says encapsulation, right? So we've seen inheritance. Hopefully you have a better understanding of that. Now we've seen encapsulation, two big concepts, really. Okay, so I think this is going to be it for this one. What you want to do then is, now that, right, because you have already committed your attempt, now, if you had to fix anything, right, go ahead and fix that code, get working code, so that when I look at it, you can come up with your own data. It doesn't matter. Matter of fact, you play around a little more with some of these getters and setters. I think that would be the other thing, but I didn't say that before. But I think, like any time, and I see students who really take what we're being introduced to and play with it, generally get the most out of these assignments, because they've actually taken it and owned it, right? And the way that you own something is you get your hands in there and you write some more code on your own. Get owning it? No. Okay. All right. I gave you a commit message in the Canvas.